Good morning, traders. It seems like, Jerome Powell said, you know what? I want to shake up the markets today. Let's plan a speech, 9 a.m. Eastern, right before the market open, just to shake things up a little bit. But guess what? We're here for you guys. In all the mess, we'll try to figure out all the noise, decipher through, and of course, get to the trading action right here on Live Trading with Benzinga. Let's get it started.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
All right, team. It looks like there's a lot going on right now. SPY getting a nice little jump up here. We'll take a look at what's going on in the markets. And of course, I'll be trying to get some comments from what is going on in Jerome Powell's speech. But like always, this is happening in real time. So keep watch on your news alert or whatever you're looking at as you guys see the SPY take a little bit of a lift. Bringing in Ryan Faloona here, and we'll definitely take a look at what's coming out. Maybe you can let us know what's showing up maybe on the pro. But let's go ahead. We'll take a look at the SPY action first. SPY getting a little bit of a pop there towards 387.50. We'll look to see if we continue towards the 390s today. Could that be in play? Who knows? Yesterday, we got up to a high there and started turning around just about. Let me just get the high from yesterday. I have like these wicks that are a little bit annoying. 393.64. Yeah, that's what I have, 393.64. We'll look to see if we get back up there, or does Powell in the middle of his speech turn it towards the hawkish side? Trying to read into some of these comments, a lot of it going on right now, so I'll let you guys know what I see.
All right, and I can help you right there. Let me go ahead and flip my screen on here. Good morning, Zunaid. Oh, someone removed it. All right.
Good morning.
So I see a couple of people here this morning saying that Jerome Powell declined to speak on the U.S. economy and Fed policy. End of story for today. Powell's speech was a non-event, in my humble opinion. So one of the things that I'm going to do, I'm still going to watch everything that comes out. So first of all, if you have Benzinga Pro, if you go into any news feed that has SPY news, whether you filter it or it's unfiltered, you'll notice that there's actually a link here. It says link, Fed Chair Jerome Powell to speak at a symposium on central bank independence. So if you click on that, you'll actually be able to go right to the link and watch it yourself. That's number one. Zunaid. You'll be able to actually watch it yourself. However, also in Pro, any notable quote that comes out of his speech or whatever he's saying will be posted here. And this is kind of what I'm going to watch here today. I'm not necessarily going to watch his speech directly. Instead, I'm going to let my news desk team here at Benzinga decipher the important information and then post it here in the newsfeed. So remember, what you're looking at on my screen here is a newsfeed that's filtered to only show me news about SPY or USO. So I'm basically getting all of the big macro news and the oil numbers in this feed here. So any big comment that Powell makes, if any, is going to be posted here in this news feed. And it's going to be easier for me to then track that, right? If I see a big sudden move in one of the indexes, I'll check this and see if that lines up with anything that he said. So we'll see if it's actually a non-event. We'll see if this actually causes the market to move. Even if it doesn't, we've got some other stuff going on here, and I want to take a look at that. So let me flip over to the movers here. First of all, BABA, we talked about Chinese stocks yesterday. BABA continuing again here today. Looks like we're up a little bit in the pre-market. You can see this run that it's moved, really going for a double off of 60 from October. So we're looking at what, 3-4 months, price looking to double here. BABA, this has been on a huge run. We're seeing some other names like NEO and XPEV trading up here this morning as well. So just wanted to kind of briefly mention that. Next here, we got PRE. This is Prenetics Global, and this does have a catalyst. Prenetics Global shares are trading higher after the company announced its ACT Genomics received clearance by the FDA for ACT Onco. Now, remember what the recent theme has been. Select biotechs have really been giving us opportunities to trade during the day. It looks like that's going to be no different here today. The stock was just under $2 yesterday and popped as high as $3.56 today. So I've got a couple of levels marked off here. One of the things I really want to see is some consolidation, right? We got a nice little run up to 356. We've kind of retraced some of that move down to about 315 here, and we're kind of holding in here. So I'd like to actually see the volume expand and see which key level to the up or downside gets taken out here, and that'll give us an idea of what the play is here. What we've seen on a lot of these is they actually kind of bottom out early on and then provide a trading opportunity for us. So we might not get an opportunity right out of the gate. We might not get it in the first 5, 10, or 15 minutes, but that's where the community is really going to come into play here. We'll keep this on radar, and as it sets up, either through a curl or a VWAP reclaim or something of that nature, we'll see if there's a trading opportunity for it. So PRE, first one on the list here. Next is going to be SHC. And SHC, this is having kind of a wild day here today, right? This stock closed at about 875, was a double earlier this morning, as high as 1637. Came all the way back into about $11, just north of $11, and we've slowly grinded back up towards that high. So I'm actually going to mark off one more level right in here. Perfect. And so we have a huge range here. We have a huge range here. The catalyst here is Sotera Health shares are trading higher if the company announced its subsidiaries have reached an agreement to settle an ethylene oxide case pending against Sterigenics. That case was in Illinois, by the way. Sterigenics will pay the company $408 million to settle the claims. And so I'm not familiar with the actual case itself. I did kind of skim through it. It looks like one of the things they're saying is that now with the case behind them, they can focus on business opportunities and what they're actually doing. So sounds good. Looks like the market is rewarding it here, but let's wait and see if this settles first. I'd actually really like to see this pull back to VWAP. Maybe even break beneath VWAP and then reclaim it for a potential trade here. I think we'll get a little bit more juice if that's the case, right? VWAP right now is at about $13.32, so about $1.10 under where we're at right now. Would love to see it come in, hold, or gently break and then reclaim VWAP here. So SHC also going to be on the list here today. FRO, this is going to be Frontline. And this is another stock that had a big pop here. We kind of retraced the move, and then we actually took the next leg up here. So pretty bullish performance here in the pre-market. We do have a catalyst here. Frontline shares are trading higher after the company announced termination of the combination agreement with Euronav. So it looks like they terminated an agreement. The market likes that. Things are looking up here, and we've got a nice little move here in FRO. One of the things we want to take a look at here on FRO is that we are close to breaking into a blue sky here. In fact, if we think that this is not quite all-time highs, this thing's been reverse split a number of times, but looks like we might actually clear out this formation, and 17 might even be possible on here. So let me come back into a daily. We'll see if we can actually take out this 1483. So 1450 to 1483. It's really going to need a lot of volume if it's really going to get that juice, but we'll see. This definitely having a good morning here today. Likewise, I think with this one, I'd actually like to see it come into a level and give us a better trade as opposed to trying to chase something that's breaking into new highs. Those plays haven't worked as well as being patient. So we're going to try the patient approach here. Next one on the list is going to be JSPR, and this has actually been on the list the past couple of days. This has definitely been making some moves. We had another big pop here this morning up to 237, retraced that move back down to 2. We're hanging out just below 2 right here. Jasper Therapeutic shares are trading higher if the company announced development prioritization of briquilimab in chronic diseases and stem cell transplant for rare diseases. So not a whole lot there. Sounds good. Not a whole lot there. You could see recently we've had a number of different pops. The stock's been volatile, so I would say don't overstay your welcome on the stock. Be careful if you do trade this. Don't be worried about taking gains early. Get out of a trade with a gain, just roll that into your next trade. Couple more here on the list I really quickly want to go through. Jan 1, we've actually traded this one before. This has retraced almost all of its moves. So I actually am going to do a little bit more analysis once the market opens here. Volume really dried up after that initial push too. That's not what we want to see for day trading opportunities. The opening of the market may change that. So we'll see. We will reassess when the market opens and see where the volume is at. Next one here is going to be Saidu. We're bringing up this one because we've actually traded Saidu before here. So Saidu shares are trading higher. The company announced it was awarded a $2 million subcontract for the U.S. Navy propulsion program. Okay, that sounds pretty good. We are hanging out right below VWAP here. We were as high as 160. I have some support here at 120, 121-ish. So we'll see if we can get a push here. This is really going to need an increase in volume to get going. And this might be nothing more than a scalp or two. So let me see, just a couple more I want to go through here. BIOR, this popped recently. I'm actually going to go through that when I turn it over to Zunaid. BBBY, this is Bed Bath & Beyond. Of course, this has had a number of wild days the past several days. Looks like we have the earnings here this morning, and we have the conference call in progress. I'll be honest, I would actually go over this first. I'd go over these news items that are coming out of the conference call first. These bankruptcy stocks, or these stocks for companies that are really taking a downturn, have not been my best plays. So I will probably just avoid this one entirely here today. But worth noting that there is a conference call going on. There was earnings today, and the stock is moving here today. Now, we talked a little bit about some of the Chinese names with XPEV, NEO, and BABA. Not a whole lot else to go on there. So Zunaid, I would turn this over to you. What are you seeing here this morning?
Yeah, one of the things that I'm going to keep an eye on is, by the way, quick poll. If you in the chat, I'd love to know if y'all prefer reading books on paperback or hardback. Just curious, because I'm ordering a book or two. Just curious what people prefer. But let me go ahead and turn it over
I prefer hardcover.
Hardcover, okay, that's what I'm kind of leaning towards too as well. But
it's a nicer gift too, depending if that's what you're doing. A hardcover book is going to be a much nicer gift than a paperback.
Well, I like to order books, read 7 pages, and then just put it right back. So and I feel like those 7 pages I enjoy more on a hard one. No one likes soft, but so
Rip.
on the let's go ahead and check out AVGO. That's gonna be the first one I want to talk about. We had unusual options on this one here that I believe we also called out on the option squawk for Benzinga, and you had puts coming in. I should go back and look at the timestamp. But regardless, you had puts coming in right around $600. So I had gone short AVGO right as the puts were coming in. It was under $600, and my stop loss was going to be above 601. And then I went ahead and got out at like 595 or something like that. It was cool, but then you had this news of Apple moving on, planning to move on from Broadcom's chips in like 2024, 2025 or whatever, and it just took a huge dip. The reason I mentioned this is because you obviously had someone who knew something, because it was a pretty sized position coming in on puts that were like weeklies, 2 weeks out, and there was just no real reason to buy them, if you will, in terms of, technicals and whatnot, at least in my opinion. And, it was fortunate. So somebody always knows something, apparently. But another reason I bring this up is because now I've got my level set here at 560. So 560 is where it kind of found support. If it goes ahead and cracks 560 sometime today, I've set an alert. I will look to play it short till about the 550, 551s. And that's where I would go ahead and cut things off for a profit. So AVGO, something to keep an eye on there. HD, Home Depot, looking at the 15-minute here, can't quite get over the 321.97 area. It's slightly poked above, and then it came right back down. So I've got an alert set in case it wants to do a little breakout and the retest. We will be interested in that. And I've also got an alert set at 310 in case that's where it wants to break down, because you can see support once, twice, reclaim 3 to the upside we go. So we'll see which way it wants to go. Currently, Home Depot is in a range, but keep an eye on this and keep an eye on options coming in. If both of those align and the charts align, it might be a good setup for us to take. Checking out Netflix, don't really like anything here. Maybe I can play it if it wants to come down to about the 312s or so, but for now, I'm going to leave it alone. Nothing here that I particularly care for. If you want to play Rivian, if this one wants to come back down, this one was a good reject off of 17, but as you can see, then it just got choppy all around. So I'm actually not going to play Rivian at all. I'm going to go ahead and take that one off. We'll focus on NEO. NEO, this one I tried to short off of $11. Got a little too choppy there. Nothing crazy that I got. So we'll pay attention to see if the 1050 breaks. If the 1050 breaks to the downside, you can possibly get a revisit of about the 1025s and the $10 on ticker NIO. Taking a look at Meta here. If Meta wants to come back and test approximately the 128 area, I'd be interested in it, but nothing really looks too clean for me on this one. In an area where I don't really have a good support or resistance on Meta, so probably won't play it. Microsoft, however, this one was a lot of fun to go ahead and short. Once you saw the support break, retest to the downside we went, tried to test it again, came back down, held the support, to the upside we went, and now we're once again in that little range. So it's like, hey, which way do we go? If we crack 226s, I would be interested in shorting this one. If we crack to the upside on 230s, I'd be interested in going to the upside. Taking a look at the S&P 500 E-mini futures, you've got a nice little support at the moment around the 38.90 area right over here. So if this one cracks, and again, depending on if you're playing on the tick chart or the minute chart, but if this one cracks and has a retest, it could be a nice short to the downside to visit possibly the 3870s, 3860s, and maybe even 3850s. So that's an area to keep an eye on. If you're looking to play the long side, I think if it breaks right around here, around the 39.15 to the upside, that could be nice and worthy of your money to go long. But again, to me, I am more interested in the short more so than I am the long. But of course, manage your own risk, see what you believe is going to happen, and then play it off of those levels. Let's take a look at Tesla, ticker TSLA. You've got a bit of a gap that we need to go ahead and close. So if we go ahead and take a look at it, you've got a gap. Where is that? Right over here. And when I say you need to close, you don't need to do anything. But if it does go ahead and break this 117.27 to the downside, I think you can maybe start to move to the downside towards 113 to try to go ahead and close that gap. But if you're looking to play to the long side, the crack of 124 is going to be your move here. As you can see, you have resistance right around 123.59. So wait for that to go ahead and pass with the retest, and then you can possibly go ahead and play TSLA to the upside. It's been a minute since we've taken a look at AMD, and let's go ahead and see what we've got. Clear as day, 69.40 seems to be resistance on this one. If it goes ahead and clears this with the retest, and especially if you crack 70, I think you can go ahead and revisit 72s. But you need to go ahead and clear that 69.40s and $70 area. Let's go ahead and take a look at NVIDIA. $50 is where we wanted to buy this one because you had rejection there. Unfortunately, it popped up, gapped up at the 150, 150s and moved to the upside. We went ahead and tried to play this one short yesterday. We were in the money, but we were about 50 cents away from our stop loss, or 50 cents away from our take profit. So we did take an L on that trade itself. But for now, 150 is still going to be the area for me on NVIDIA to go ahead and play a bounce play, like a little bit of a scalp play, if you will. But if it cracks 150, wait for the retest, and to the downside we go. Let me see what else we've got here on ticker. Google is about to go ahead and possibly close the gap at about 87.50s or so. You saw the beautiful $90 reject on yesterday's price action. I didn't personally play Google, but you see that one coming a bit down. And lastly, I'm going to go over Apple here, where Apple don't really have a level I particularly like on Apple. Maybe the 127.99, so the 128 if you really want to go ahead and force that, but I personally don't like anything there. Let's see what we've got in the chat, though. We got
QLGN, which I didn't cover yet.
Oh, if you want it.
Yeah, let me do that here real quick. So a number of you have mentioned QLGN. I'll toss it back to the hoodie here in a sec. QLGN, Qualigen Therapeutics, this is trading up here today. We went as high as 178. Remember, we were as high as 193 in the intraday session yesterday on big volume. So it looks like we're getting another push here in volume today. That's definitely a good sign for potential trades here today. Catalyst here is that Qualigen Therapeutics receives orphan drug designation from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration for one of their drugs for pancreatic cancer. So seems pretty good here. Market is definitely liking it. We'll see if we get an opportunity here. What I like to see here is this move, right? We got a push up to 178. We've now traded back down, held 150. 150 is 10 cents below the VWAP. We're starting to curl back up. So a move maybe to and through the VWAP puts 178 in play. This would be the trade plan. For me on this stock, if we have good volume, especially if it's increasing volume and that drives the price to the VWAP, I would actually be okay taking a little bit ahead of the VWAP for a VWAP break, and then hope that we push the 178 pre-market high here. I would take some off prior to 178 just in case this still holds as resistance. None of this matters. We all have to wait and see what happens when the market opens here and see where QLGN is. But this one directly from the chat, didn't cover it here. Good stuff, folks. You guys are already spotting some new plays here. So what else you got, Zunaid?
All right, let me go ahead and flip it back to my charts. We've got Mitch back as well, so we'll give him some time to go over his stocks. But that's kind of pretty much it.
What?
What's up?
We're going to give Mitch time? No.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we figured the man works so hard for us, you know, give him a little ticker time. But yeah, that's kind of pretty much. Look, we know you love being on air so much. You know?
Well, we know he loves his orange juice. That much we do.
Did you go get orange? Oh, you did go.
Have to, bro. Can't even start the day without it.
But
this
Mitch,
is when the day starts. Pre-market prep is just the pre-market, right? That's just the prep.
It's. So you're saying pre-market prep is to prep you in the pre-market? I did not. You know what? I didn't put that together. That's on me.
It's to prep me for you guys, the live trading crew. It's to get me ready for the action, the execution.
Well, let me ask you this:
getting the process
in terms of execution, you've got a book club coming up.
Yeah.
Are you going to have a paperback or a hardback? And obviously, the screen is yours as well to go over whatever you want.
Like what you did there.
I think I'm going to be sticking to the cheap side. We'll be on that paperback. Let's take a look. But definitely, we'll see what's going on today, guys. It's going to be a fun day. I expect to see some fireworks eventually because I think that, you know, a lot of traders are either going to be selling the rip or waiting for the CPI data. So I don't expect to see too much downside today. But remember, yesterday we got up there towards around like 12 o'clock and then we just dipped for the rest of the day. So we could do something very similar like that today. I think we get back into the range today. So I think we end the day slightly maybe down here towards 386. Don't expect to see too much, like let's say 394, 400 or something like that. It's all going to depend on CPI, and that's coming on Thursday. So it's going to take a little bit while to really move this market. And I think that today everyone was kind of expecting to get some kind of comments from Jerome. Didn't really get us much. So we'll see what happens today. Do we come right back down below the 386?
Yeah, my feeling is SPY lower here today as well, Mitch, but it's similar to, I don't think it's going to be like a massively red day or a huge sell-off or anything. I just think we're kind of trading down. To me, I don't think the lows are in, right? I think the 348 SPY low is going to get tested. Hopefully it happens here in Q1. The sooner the better as far as I'm concerned. But my general impetus here for the market is down.
We'll see what happens, especially in healthcare, as that had hard rotation away yesterday. Will this continue? Of course, this was a lot in the drug manufacturers, the bigger names like Lilly, Merck, right? We even saw AZN that had good news turn around to the downside. PFE, right? Pfizer turning down yesterday. Will these continue? That was the rotation yesterday. It went away from these names. Oil's a little bit of a mixed bag, right? It's kind of in a battle right now. I think it could get a lift even because of the China news, right? China reopening. If that really gets the demand to get a little bit higher, maybe that pushes oil prices a little bit higher, and that gets oil stocks pushing back towards the highs. I'm not going to be shorting too much into those oil names until we actually get WTI to show up like it's going towards 60. That's really where I think you'll start seeing these oil stocks crack. Right now, we're still hanging around in the 75s. In the last couple of days, we've just been hanging out in this 75 range. So really looking to see if we ever break through that 71. That's from December 9th on that WTI. We'll see what happens there. XOM is what you see right now. Oxy, we'll look to see if these get the next lift or will it take the takedown. Basic materials, It's something to keep on watch, right? Some of these have been strong as of late. You can take a look. Chemicals have been getting a little bit of a lift. Aluminum getting a little bit of a lift. And then paper products. I saw steel, it was strong. It pulled back yesterday. Will we get the next lift here? I'll keep watch on these names. Gold has continued in the strength. Lumber's no trade there. Coal hasn't really been moving as of late, so don't expect to see too much there. I'd like the agricultural inputs more on that MOS, right? MOS has been strong coming up. CF is another one to keep watch, right? Will these stocks get the next lift? IPI, you guys can keep watch on some of these. Industrials have been interesting. Of course, Caterpillar made a new high yesterday. We'll look to see if it makes another one here. DE, will these stocks remain strong? Honeywell is another one that I'd put on the radar. Keep that one on the radar with GE. Will GE pull back today and Honeywell pull back? Or will it get the next lift through the 210? Honeywell pushing back towards 220 and GE continuing the trend towards 75. We'll see what happens on these stocks. Just to give perspective on the Duke trade, did get cut out of the trade yesterday through that 105.50. Wasn't going to battle it. So unfortunately took a loss on that Duke.
And real quickly here, I want to cover Nari. This is from Jay Rice in the chat here. Nari up, I think, almost 6 points here, right? Yeah, 6 points, 9% in the pre-market here. What's going on with this? They reported earnings, it looks like, preliminary revenue and guidance, and all of those are above the estimated range, right? So sales, Q4 sales, FY22 and FY23 sales all above the range. That is accounting for your pop here in Nari. Jay said it was a thinner name, about 48 million shares in the float, and has a short float of about 6.5%. Days to cover at about 4.8. So we'll see where Nari goes here today. Interesting one. Looks like this is still first move here out of the gate, a little bit higher. JSPR first move out of the gate is down here, so it was rejected at its VWAP. We want to see if that sets up here. And watch QLGN as well.
Trying to see what my SPY levels would be.
Just looking around today, you're going to be kind of patient. Of course, I'm not trying to take in this rally too much. I just don't feel like it's going to hang on. But we'll see what happens today. It seems like out the gates, a bunch of mixed bags here. Basic materials and communication services getting the lift. I know ex-dividend, I think, already hit there for T-Mobile, not T-Mobile, AT&T, and kind of Verizon. We'll look to see if those continue to lift. They are getting a little bit of a push here today. T-Mobile, we'll look to see if that can push back towards 149.50.
Sorry, JSPR and QLGN both down here out of the open. No trade yet. JSPR trying to bounce, but we'll see. And by the way, the Bitcoin play is up again as well. Coin up another almost 4% here this morning.
I don't know how you buy coin off of these news, team. I just don't know. But I mean, I did see growth stocks make a nice little push yesterday. If you're a day trader, I understand why you're looking at coin. If you're an investor or swing trader, I don't know how the hell. But
yeah, hard to hold, no doubt, Mitch, but it's one of those stocks that has just been so beaten down. Looks like we're getting an opportunity on it. SHC here above that 1450 level actually took out 15. So first move here was higher. We want to wait for this to settle, though. We're a little extended from the VWAP here.
Growth stock that had a good move yesterday, having a good move today, Unity. And so look for growth stocks. That's one thing I noticed yesterday that was getting a little bit of a lift. Some of these growth stocks pushing strong here out the gates. Keep eye on those. Of course, coin, we already mentioned. Unity, Roku is also making a move up. That just shows me more and more how it's kind of like this growth trade. You could also just look at ARK. Even Hood is getting a little bit of a lift today. So that just shows me more and more. Yeah, growth is on right now. So if you guys see that continue, well, you know a trade. Look to see if we get some pullback in some of those names.
Yeah, if you're trying to trade something to the long side and you want relative strength, you've got Tesla that's up 2% compared to the market's break even at the moment. And you've also got NEO that is surprisingly strong right now. Let's see what's going on with NEO. Might try to, here's what I'm going to do. At around 1148. I'm gonna look to go short Neo. 300 shares. Actually, let me go 5. We go 500 shares short. Actually, I'll go 300 here, and then at the 50 area, let's see if I can get about another 200 here. All right, so looking to go short Neo around the average of 1148 and 49s. Stop loss for me probably be about 10, 11 cents to the upside.
Nice move here in SPY too. Nice move up. That's taking Apple and Amazon with it, which initially sold off here. QLGN now making a move towards its VWAP. VWAP I got at 157.
Tesla big level for it is 123.18. We'll look to see if we get through there again.
Qualigen rejected off of its VWAP and a nice little pull there.
Even Carvana and Affirm up today, just to give you perspective how it's growth on.
That's what we mean about the names that were really, really beat up. First to bounce, first to trade back.
All right, for me, the focus. Balmy Hunter is saying poor Z wants to make a play, can't find any. I can't find anything I like, but I am interested right at the moment in Microsoft. If we can go ahead and hold this level, obviously, look, that's a big candle. I wouldn't know where to put my stop loss. I'm not going to go ahead and play this one. The 5-minute did go ahead and close above it. However, I'm going to go ahead and actually it will close in 7 seconds above it. But I'm going to wait and see if we can get some consolidation. And then if I can grab it closer to 230s, the better. But for me, I just wouldn't know where my stop loss would be. I'm going to wait for the 15-minute candle to close. Unless this 5-minute candle does like a little retest and then waits and then make sure it holds, then I'd be interested as well with smaller size. But for now, we are in wait and see mode.
Technology taking lead now. What's taking lead there? I'll take a look at the industries to see what's moving. Semis, of course, semi-equipment, health information services, and solar getting a little bit of a lift. Even some software names getting to push.
All right. Look, I mean, this is obviously in the early stages, but you've got the 230 level that we talked about as resistance, held as support, made its move to about $1 resistance. Now, similar thing. We cracked above, retested. Now, is this going to hold and continue its way higher or not? The market is obviously ripping. Look at the E-mini futures. Beautiful to the upside. So if you're long, you're making money on that. It broke the consolidation type phase that we were talking about there. Now it's a matter if it's going to hold and continue its march towards the upside, or if it's going to revisit the support area of approximately 39.13s or so. Let's actually mark that just for fun. Let's go right there at 39.15.25. We'll see what happens on that one. Going back to Microsoft, though, at the moment, it's holding.
And with the SPY move here, Jay Rice saying good call by Dennis Dick in the pre-market to buy the dip. Looks like that has definitely paid off here. First move out of the gate up.
Let's see what we got. Anything else? Tesla set an alert right above the 123s.
Square calls being bought. CRM calls, Qualcomm calls. So a lot of those tech names see call buys here.
Netflix, big push up today. If you want to take a look at that, it's already made a 7-point move. Moderna getting strong today. Etsy getting strong. Even Caesars Entertainment getting a nice little push today. AMD pulling back to VWAP. If you guys think that tech is going to have a really good day, that one looks interesting for a VWAP bounce style play.
Yeah, and SHC here definitely pulled back to that 1450 level. We were above 15 briefly, but not yet. Still a lot of selling volume. Would love to see that turn around. Currently have the VWAP at about 1450. So that definitely providing some support here. We'll see if that gets tested again. JSPR might be starting a curl, and QLGN has not really started a curl yet, although it's hanging in there despite being lower. Bed Bath & Beyond trying to hold on there, although I'm not going to trade that at all.
I'm trying to scalp it at the moment. I don't know how it's gonna go though.
Bed Bath and Beyond, you mean?
Yeah, BBBY, yeah.
BBBY, yeah.
Back,
Yeah, Saidu's trying to take out the VWAP here, 131. And some pretty decent volume here on Saidu.
Quiet day for me today, team. I'm kind of a little bit tired, so I'm not trying to overtrade today. Got to know where your mental mind state is. And for me, it's not the best right now. So
TGL, nice pop into a halt there, halted up. What's going on here with this one, Crow? Do you know? Signed strategic partnership MOU in Malaysia. Join hands with Boost in Malaysia. I don't know. Anyway, nice little push there into a halt. No position on this, though. Might be a little too risky for me. Mitch, one of the things I do want to get your opinion on, we don't need to do it right now. I know it's only 9 minutes after the market open, but I definitely want to get your opinion on the Cubs signings at some point. So maybe a little bit later when it slows down here, think about it. Give me your opinion. I don't expect them to win a World Series, but definitely want to hear what your thoughts are on some of the additions.
Yeah, I mean,
they're Tyon and Cody Bellinger and Dansby Swanson.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about it a little later. It's all about the division, right? A lot of times it's your division that matters, right?
Yep. Bingo.
I mean, that's really what it's all about.
Saidu, by the way, nice little move here on Saidu. We did get some action here. We pushed right through. Oh, let me pull it up. What's going on with my thing here? All right. So we did get some action. We pushed right through that VWAP. Looks like it's going for some more now. So Saidu through 137 got only about 7 cents. What we'd like to see here is maybe a move through 140 and a move towards 150. 160 your pre-market high. Good volume, good expanding volume here. So nice move here through 139. It's working so far, but I'd really like to see this go some more to really kind of close this.
SPY right now at 388.76. We'll look to see if it gets to the 389s here.
Yeah, you've got Microsoft still hanging out above the 230s.
So I do having trouble with that 140 mark. 135 has a lot of volume traded at it.
Kind of want to go short, to be honest. Oh, and look at that. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Shelly's saying market doesn't know where it wants to go. I completely agree. Zunaid, hopefully you're making some sense out of it. What do you got for us?
Always looking left. A line that we drew here at the 39.15s. We talk about that being the breakout level and waiting for the retest. And there is your retest right on time at 39.16s. And now you're getting a move to the upside. Let's see what Microsoft is doing. Again, I'm waiting for this 15-minute candle to close above. That's the 5. Waiting for the 15-minute candle to close above so we can get an idea of what we want to do. But for now, nice little retest on the breakout level, and now we're coming back down to it. So we'll see which way this market wants to go, if it holds or if it doesn't.
Yeah, Bomi saying it feels like we're going red like Ryan thinks of the market today. It feels that way, Bomi, but let's confirm. I wouldn't, a lot of the stuff has kind of been crazy. I mean, I think the market should have been down already, right? Mitch, every time that the market is trading up, you and I seem to be saying to each other, why is the market trading up? I don't really understand it. There's so many headwinds against it. So crazier things have happened here, and that first pop sold into. We'll see if we end up turning and going lower.
I might end up taking a bit of a short.
The hopium's out there, man. The hopium's out there.
Well, speaking of the hopium, do you see the Fed funds predictor chart? They're thinking 25 bips raise at the next one. I got to think that's going to be closer to 50. or I got to think that's going to be 50. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, the percentage from the CME Fed tool.
Yeah, exactly. The Fed, that's what it's called, the Fed tool. That's what I was trying. Jeez. Thanks, Mitch.
Got you, dude. No worries.
Just could not get the right word in there. So, okay. So here we go. This is really quickly. This is what I'm talking about. If you guys have a trade, please interrupt me. This is what I'm talking about. This is the Fed probability tool. And next Fed meeting is in 22 days. Yesterday, this was as high as, I think, 82%, because we talked about it in happy hour yesterday. To me, this has got, and this is for a 25 bips hike. I got to think it's 50. I got to think we don't get 25. And this would come in. And I think that would correlate to a market that would sell off during that process. But we'll see if we get that. Saidu here now holding its VWAPs, or trying to anyway. So trading back above that 131 level. VWAP currently at 132. 131.75, 132 thereabouts. Really needs to break above 140 though.
I'm currently short on Meta, ticker META, short at the 129.32. So let me go ahead and put my chart up here. Reason for that is you can look left. You had resistance, popped, held as support, crack. Is this the retest of the resistance and then a fail? I don't know, but I'm going to go ahead and play it that way. And if I am wrong, I will go ahead and get out at 130.20s, 50, 50 shares, mainly because I'm not too confident in the level, but it looks like AVGO is starting to go and break down below this 560 level here. So let's see how it wants to go ahead and play out. If this is going to be interesting. I want to see a 5-minute close below, maybe even a 15, but I'm not going to go ahead and take this one short just yet, because this could go ahead and hold the support and go right back up. So I'm not going to short it just yet, but I am going to go ahead and set another alert just in case. Actually, I'll come back to it, but I'm going to set another alert. Let me go ahead and turn off our dings here. That way y'all don't continue to hear them. But let's come back to our Meta short in the red at the moment. We'll see which way it wants to pop. Let's see what the market's doing itself. Market, again, from that level of support, it went ahead and held, and now it gave you about a 8-point move since then. So hopefully y'all got a chance to take advantage of that. With that market going up, means Meta's going up, which means I could get stopped out here, especially if that 5-minute candle closes above, which it's got about 5 minutes left to go. TGL
is open here. I'm kind of watching that at the moment.
Don't really have anything in my mind on that one.
Yeah, I don't either, Zunaid. This looks extended here. Crow saying he's going to add on the dip. To me, I'd wait for a bottom here or something to settle out. And we're seeing it in some of the other names we had on the list. Saidu really couldn't break, actually broke down from that 131 we just talked about, currently printing 126s. And then QLGN has done nothing but bleed, right? It pushed out of the open up to the VWAP, was rejected, and has just continued to pound lows here. So some of those smaller ones that we have talked about not really working out here. Interestingly enough, SHC is working out here.
I see that turnaround, team, just so to give you guys the insight there. I'm starting to see the breakdown.
Yep, all good. And I'll flip it over to you. But real quick here, SHC, this one is trying to go here, right? Staying above VWAP, staying above that 1450 level, taking the next leg up, rejected at 16. I'm not sure if this is going to be done yet. All right, Mitch, I threw up your charts here. I noticed that too. I was watching Tesla and Apple reverse and go to their lows.
A little late on the party. Wanted to jump in that SQQQ move. It was just at 51.33s. I wanted to get it, but just was a little bit hesitant because I should have been closer to 51. But that right there would have already given me the reward for the day. About a 50-cent pop there from the SQQQs. You can see it also on the SOX VWAP bounce right after it got above the VWAP. It got a little bounce there, pushed right back up towards it. So looking to start seeing some shorts there in the tech. Tesla is one that I can look for some shorts. I just need to bounce back to VWAP. It rejected again to get through 123s. That shows me that it's holding high resistance, could be stuck in the range, but we're at the top of the range. Why not short to the bottom of the range? That's the way I'm thinking about it. I'll just need a little bit of a bounce back to get short. We'll see what happens. Apple also breaking down. I think that's majorly important to see if it is able to recover 130 today, or will it just start leaking out? SPY overall started turning back around there when? At, of course, right around 9:45. We gave that outlook like we were looking up. Now we're starting to tick down. We'll see if we actually break through the 386. That's what's going to show me continued downside here. Of course, a lot of stocks are strong, so you're going to see some big pullbacks. Look for maybe some hourly pullbacks. If you're bullish on this tape, we'll see what happens.
All right, on the MetaTrade, I did go ahead and add another 50 shares, so we are short 100 shares now. You can see that right there. Stop loss is going to be the same, approximately 130.20s. Yesterday we talked about, making sure you have or at least I like to have a staircase game plan. So now that I have 50 shares or more than 100, now that I have more than 50 shares short, aka 100 shares, I'm going to take 50 out here at the 128.36. And the reason being, you can see my risk reward is now a 1-to-1. And then my next target is going to be a 2-to-1, which would mean that I'm going to go ahead and take my next short out right around here. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that. Again, this is if it actually plays out. I have no idea if it will, but first take profit, 128.35. Next take profit, approximately 127.44. Stop loss for all of it will be 130.20. This was in the green and gave me about $40, but now it's at break even. And now it may go against me. If that's the case, so be it. Just want to be transparent with what I'm doing and my game plan, because again, it's about the process and not just a trade.
And SHC coming back in towards its VWAP here. Currently have its VWAP at 1502. Got as low as about 1510 on that pullback and bounced a little bit here. So SHC definitely not done here for today. I want to see how it handles trading at the VWAP. Also, W asking about HKD. HKD is popping here on volume. Our thoughts on it remain the same, though, kind of scammy and trappy. Just be very, very careful if you do end up trading that. Not something I recommend. But I know a lot of you out there have been trying to trade that. So big green candle is right, Larry.
Yeah, getting it above that 16 is going to be key. But now if it holds, that's what you want to keep an eye on. And next resistance, if it does clear this one to me, if it clears this about 1740s or so, the next one is going to end up being about $20. And so keep an eye on that one.
Interesting chart. I'm just going through it right now. Is KALA, Kala Pharmaceuticals. And for some reason, seems to me like it wants to give another go towards the 30s, but just considering it now. Lower volume, though. Just be careful on a name like that. Kind of like it. The only thing is the spread's really big. It's low volume.
Yeah, Custom Fitness Uptown saying Bitcoin sellers are looking exhausted over the past few weeks. This is kind of what we were saying yesterday. One of the things we noticed is that although Bitcoin is down massively from the 60K level down here to 16, 17,000, it's actually done a really good job hanging in at this level, which the longer it does that, I think the better it is for it, and perhaps we get a turnaround here. So those sellers definitely looking exhausted. Doesn't look like we're able to take it any further. And I would say with the FTX collapse, I'm surprised it's not lower, but who knows? It's definitely something to note. And like seeing it, right? Like seeing it hold this level. Maybe there will be a next leg up at some point.
All right, took a little bit of the SQQQs, looking for a nice little push here. Got the 5138s, looking for it to push back towards 5175. Willing to add somewhere near the 5125s. Need to start pushing, though. VWAP's around 5150.
And speaking of VWAP, SHC down here at its VWAP now, 1510, VWAP at 1502, so it's trying here. FRO, first move out of the open here was down. We bottomed, let me go ahead and throw my chart up there, sorry about that. We bottomed at about 1350. Now we've curled back towards the VWAP. It'll be interesting to see if we can actually build above. Volume's still looking good here this morning compared to the average. So if that maintains or even expands, and then we can stay above the VWAP, I think I like this for higher. 14 definitely on deck if we can hold above VWAP and get more volume here. SHC doing its best to try and bounce off this VWAP. We'll see if that materializes as well.
Come on, market. Just give it up. Just give it up, give it up, give it up. Meta, just give it up.
Let's go, SQQQ. Let's get that rip. 5160 is now showing up here. As we break through the 5175, I'll take majority of it off. Take some good profit. There's 73. Just took some there on 73s. Now I'm going to look for the 52 push for the rest. And get ourselves a nice little trade to start off the day.
Yeah, nice job there, Mitch.
I'll put
Just
your
it was
charts up.
patient too, right? It could have easily
Yep.
jumped in there at 51, like 56, and then what would that have done? When it's pulled back there to 51.29, it probably would have got stopped out.
I'll be honest,
So
I think those ETFs like SQQQ and SOXL, those have really given us some of the best trades because they've been some of the trades that you can telegraph, right? You can trade your plan, come up with a plan, trade your plan, it's easier to be patient. And that seems to have worked out. Some of these other smaller names don't really seem to materialize. You end up just taking small losses on them. Nice trade
all
there
right.
on SQQQ.
Quick pullback there though, just to kind of mention it. I'm
That's why
already
you
out
take
of the
your
trade
gains.
for the rest. That's why I took the gains into
That's why you
that
took the
push.
gains.
Look, it went to 51.75, right back down to 51s, right? And so I'm not going to hold it towards a crack of 51. Still took a little bit of hit on those shares. 51.06 should have got out of there at 51.25. Little slippage there definitely affected me as it was coming down off the bid. But not too bad. They're a good trade to start off the day. Still, I have a little bit of a green cushion. And for a day that I'm not feeling too like speed wise, they didn't want to trade too much of a speed trade, but we are getting a SPY spike here. I'm not sure this is news related. It's 9:54. It seems like it's news related just because of the way it's happening here, but gonna have to look around.
Oh man. So speaking of taking profits, I maybe should have when it was up about $40 in my favor, but now I'm gonna go ahead and get stopped out. Let me show you guys a live action so you can see me lose money. If it goes ahead and cracks above this 130.20, I will go ahead and get stopped out of my 100 shares that I'm short. There's the bell, there's the noise, and I did go ahead and get stopped out, which means I lost about $100 or so. Yeah, 92.43 on that short trade. Not mad at it. I liked everything I saw. Maybe I should have taken profits when it came because we shorted that one around here. And then we had a chance to take profits, retested, rejected. We had another chance to take profits. We did not as we were waiting for this one. So far, not a good start. 0 for 1 on the day, down about $93.
All right, looking at Unity here, thinking about getting in it, but I want a little bit of a pullback closer to 29.25 so I can risk off of 29. If you're looking for some growth style trade, that's what I'm looking at right now in Unity. We'll see what happens with that. It's off the VWAP right now. SPY tried to make a little move up. We'll see if we actually do get a push.
Nice job, chat. Nice job on doing BBBY. I told you guys that I would avoid this one. Shame on me. You folks are hitting it. Got a nice little pop here on this expanding volume. This is exactly what we're looking for in some of these other names here. Really kind of cleared out this range. 183, maybe 186, 187 would have been a little bit more conservative buy area, but got 20 cents out of that or even more here. So nice job on BBBY. Mike, Booglog. Nice job, chat.
I like that pullback there in Unity now as the SPY looks like it's trying to make that next move up here. We'll look to see if we get that breakout in the SPY above 389s. Just rejected it there. Seems like it's tight right now between 389 and the downside action of 387.
I'm not, Jay, I'm not in BBBY. Not in that. Said I would avoid that earlier.
I'm going to go ahead and cancel my short on Neo. Didn't get triggered. I worked, but it didn't get triggered. So it is what it is. I'm going to go ahead and cancel those. The idea worked, but unfortunately it did not go ahead and let me get the fills. And so if you're looking to go long, I mean, you want areas where, you want stocks that have relative strength. And for me right now, that's Amazon.
Unity looks good, but the SPY looks a little choppy to me here, so I'm not jumping in it. I do like the trade. You can see that, a couple of wicks there even right off of this. And what I like about it is that it's the $0.50 mark, right? We all know how traders love to look at the 50 cents and the whole dollar. So I was just thinking about it more like a $29.50 towards $30 trade. But to me, that's 50 cents upside, 50 cents downside outlook right now. That doesn't seem to make sense for at least for my trading strategy. But like always, you guys determine your own. I hate one-to-one trades. I don't do them. Very rarely do I ever go for one-to-ones.
Update on one of the potential swings that we talked about. We talked about deer here a number of times. This originated from a discussion that we had in happy hour. One of the gentlemen was shorting it. I said I'd take the long side. We actually had the floating island here that we ended up breaking down from, right? And we actually closed the gap all the way down to the beginning of the island. So technically, this trade the trade to the long side did not work, and instead the trade to the short side was better. Interestingly enough, though, deer looking to bounce off of that level back into the range. Would be interesting to see if this can actually take out the 448 or the 450. And then similarly, cat having a very similar looking daily chart, right? We had similar formations. Cat a little bit stronger, though, as we continue to resolve to the upside. So this floating island looks to have resolved to the upside and took the next leg up. Deer looks like it kind of broke down, but actually ended up trading back into the range. So cat especially looking pretty good here. This is one of the swings that worked despite not taking it.
SPY a little choppy, Google a little bit strong. We've already mentioned that. I know Ron mentioned that also. There, Apple's the one that just doesn't look that strong to me. I'm looking to see if we break down on Apple or not. Are we going to just break out here towards the 30-50s and then 131 will hit? SPY went back to the VWAP, trying to reload a little bit to the upside. We'll look to see if it reloads here.
Yeah, I don't necessarily see anything on rum, Crow. I just took a look.
I need some rum.
It's had a nice run here. It's had a nice run here, maybe through 8 on the round number, but otherwise I don't really see a whole lot. We're pretty much just recovered to the level we were at the beginning of December. Not really a whole lot. I would imagine if we can take this out, maybe your next leg going to be, 9 to 950 in there. If we can cross 8.
Yeah.
At least the MACD's crossing over on the daily, so I'm sure some traders are taking a look at that. Doesn't look too bad, at least for daily momentum.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and go short. I'm going to go short AVGO.
Hard one today to decipher. It seems like a lot of bullish setups, longer term short outlooks, and a lot of kind of chop right now in the index because it's kind of sideways right now.
Amarin Corp. We've traded this one before. Possible trade here on a breakthrough 170, especially if we get some increased volume here. Noticing this on the scanner. Volume here today greater than the average. So we'll see if we can get another move here. 170 your spot on AMRN.
Forget the farming tractors being EV. They're going to be autonomous EV. Now that will be legit. Farmers need them robots.
Just think of how much more efficiency you could get if you were able to effectively do that.
Right?
How many more fields you could turn over?
The farmers should be teaching their kids how to code right now instead of how to farm.
Code the tractors. That way we don't have to do anything. We just let the tractors do all of the work.
Yeah, man, that's the future.
W's asking, Ryan, can you check Saidu? Sure, W. Wally, sorry. I shouldn't call you W. Wally works. So Saidu here, doing a good job really kind of trading sideways as opposed to just breaking down. But again, we don't have the volume that we're looking for. We're currently below the VWAP. You see that the last time we actually moved through the VWAP, we did it on the volume that we were getting, but it instantly turned into selling volume and the price was slammed back down. So no trade here yet. I suppose if you wanted to trade this on a move through the VWAP, you could, but really what you want to do is make sure that that volume is coming with you. If the volume is not coming with you, you're likely to just be rejected at the VWAP, and you're probably just going to be buying the top and taking a small loss on it. So Saidu, good that it's holding in here, but not really showing us any buy trigger at the moment. Always need someone to maintain the tractors. Now, this is a good point, right? But imagine if you could have the tractors do their daily work autonomously and your labor could be saved for when the tractor needs maintenance, preventative maintenance, or, repairs of that nature. Think about how much more you'd be able to accomplish and how much more efficient your farming would be.
And also just think about it, right? Deere sells them, not maintains them, right? And so Well, they're going to be happy as hell that these are coming out. That's new products for them.
Short AVGO. I think I mentioned that before, but let me give the levels. Come on.
All right, Stocks S starting to make a little move up. I'm thinking about longing Stocks S here. The key is the SPY would need to break down here. I feel like it's just been a trap to the upside. Need to pull back to the VWAP, 32.25 here on Stocks S, and then look for the up move through 32.75. We'll look to see if we get that. Of course, there's some bottoming action that came back towards 32, so we're looking to get a little bit of the pullback. And then the extension up, it would be this kind of move where you get this little pullback to the VWAP and then the next little extension back up. SPY would need to crack, and so would the Qs. Qs look like they're battling right now. Might be a little bit early to the gun, but I'm thinking about at least setting up here.
Oatly giving you a tradable formation here. Not a whole lot of range on it, though. I mean, this bottom here, 250 to 273, really would have need to caught that almost perfect for that to be a nice trade. But we can see we're actually pushing above, coming back in towards the VWAP, and then pushing away from it. We'll see how long this continues.
Coming back to my AVGO trade. So remember, we went ahead and talked about this pre-market. So it's not even like you needed to have me tell you exactly what I was doing. So we talked about this 560 level that was holding on as support yesterday. Then we talked about how, hey, today I'm not going to short it just yet in case it wants to pop back up, which is exactly what I did. But once it failed and I got a retest, I went short 30 shares at 559.29. I'm looking to take a stop loss at 562.89, taking profits at 555.32. The reason for that is because every single trade that you see me take live on this show is going to be risking $100 as a risk and reward. So $100 is my risk around there. Looking to get $100 if this one does work out. We're going to look to cover at 555.32. Ideally, if you'd like, you can go ahead and cover, say, 15 or 20 shares, aka about 60 to 70% of your size, to see if you can get another move to about the 550. As a matter of fact, that might be what I do. Let's see what the market itself is doing. Indecisive. What a surprise.
Yeah, that's why I'm a little indecisive myself. It feels like the market's indecisive too. And so I'm not taking the Stocks S trade there, even though I want to. I just feel like the market hasn't determined a direction, so I'm not going to.
All right, we're up.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was just updating. We're up about $70, but I'm not taking it. I'm going to wait for the limit to be taken out at 555.32. It's all you. Yeah, boy. Stop playing with me.
I couldn't even like
I know Zunaid thinks like everybody catches all that.
You know what, Zunaid?
That's the best part.
Great
success. Great success, Zunaid. You did it. That's
great
totally
success.
fine.
Great success, my friend.
Yeah, nice rap, says Shelly. Better than it being a trap. Okay, all jokes aside, SHC here really having a good move. This has probably been the best one from the list that we outlined here today in terms of performance. Every time that it's pushed up, it's come back towards the VWAP and given us another opportunity to trade. The price here means that the movement that it's giving you is good enough here for a scalp. So SHC now pushing away. The next thing to take note here is if we break 16 to the upside, especially if we get this volume to expand.
Nice move in Unity back to 29.75. I never got in on the 29.25 and never pulled back there. So I just never got in. Looking around to see what's going to happen here. Apple's the interesting one. If the SPY can actually push up here, Apple can probably reverse from that support down there. So that one's interesting. Google, of course, continuing the push. That could tell us that the SPY wants to take the lift. Amazon also right above it, 89. That looks like a scalping abilities type of play there. We'll see what happens.
Oh, come on. I'm a foreigner myself. I'm an immigrant. Of course I care. All right, I'll slow it down. I went ahead and took 30 shares short at 559 on ticker AVGO because of the 560 support that I believe was cracked, and you had a retest. My stop loss is going to be above this 5-minute candle, which is 562.89. My take profit is going to be about 555.32 because I think that 555 hold number can go ahead and be a bit of a support for a little bit. We were in the money by about 60, $70, but we were about $1.50 away from our limit being taken out. Well, now this has been a problem of mine for quite some time where I can't just properly measure it. I'm always green, but then I somehow end up losing. Similar thing where we saw Meta. I was maybe about 50 cents away from profits, but then it, went against me and went right back up. So short 559.29 on AVGO. Stop loss 562.89. It's going to take profits at 555.32. No worries, Dot. I got you.
SHC continuing to push to the highs. And by the way, Shelly, Buddy said hello this morning. Well, we were just petting him there. So he said hello to you.
Hello, hello, hello.
It looks like you were getting ready to break into song there, Mitch.
No, I didn't want to get copyrighted, you know. They've been coming after me, you know. Here's the Qs trying to make that move up. Glad I didn't take that move, at least for right now. The big thing is, will it take the 271.50s for the Qs? I'm not sure if we get through there. We're setting up there, but like always, keep watch.
Yeah, and if we went ahead and shorted Meta, same thing, right? We were in the money, but it just didn't hit my limits. Maybe that's a me problem to take a look back at.
That's right, Zunaid. That's right, Zunaid. Ebook reading of the Kama Sutra is what we need from Zunaid, evidently.
That wasn't in my contract for the book club. That's not what Mitch had told me about. I thought we were reading Trading in the Zone. That's a different type of book club, After Dark. But can we put my chart up, please?
No, I just feel like leaving Zunaid up now.
I'll show you the zone, Zunaid.
Are you using some software there? Because that was really good.
What are you talking about?
That's you naturally?
That's just he belts that from the deep inside.
Nah, bullshit.
That's the years of hearing the deep insides come out from customers, you know. He's brought out that.
What's happening, Ryan?
Will someone please let Zunaid know that we have technology to enhance different aspects of our shows, please? Over.
And this is the professional newscaster over here, the announcer over here.
How in the world am I? You know what? Listen, Aaron doesn't hook me up with all those cool things. All right, I didn't know I didn't know we had it. But anyway, I didn't know where I was.
You taking that money and running?
No, I'm waiting to get filled at 555.32. I don't know where I was anymore. Let me scroll up the chat.
So while you figure out where you were at, we actually had a nice little shout here from Becca. TNXP will probably hit 1. TNXP, this is one of the penny stocks, which is why I didn't cover it on my list here today. I know a lot of you folks really do like those. We actually got really good action here on TNXP. So whether it's a penny stock or not, this is the type of action we're trying to trade all the time. This is why we highlight it all the time. Nice little push on volume out of the open, retrace back towards VWAP, a hold, and then a move up in accordance with more expanding volume there. So good stuff there on TNXP. I didn't trade this though, Becca. Nice eye.
Waiting for AVGO to make a low of day. Currently, we're up about $50. Depending on if you took the trade because you like the thought process, feel free to do what you want with your account. I am going to hold tight and see if I can go ahead and get my fails at 555.32 for 20 shares, aka 66.66% of my size. When will the book club start, Mitch?
All right, so the book club will be meeting up this Sunday, and so we're going to go ahead and I'll be putting out an email a little bit later, probably on Thursday. I'll send out that email, just still collecting up a little bit to make sure that everyone's ready to go. Want to give everyone the opportunity not to miss the first one. And so this weekend will be just more of kind of a meetup, just to kind of talk about books that you guys are looking at, get a little conversation so you guys understand what's going to happen. And then from that point on, we'll definitely be rolling the following week. On this Sunday, we'll determine exactly the book that we'll be starting off with. So don't miss that.
So I shouldn't leak which book it might be.
Nah, don't.
Nah,
I mean, well, you can leak whatever book.
No, then you'll switch it up. Then I'll look like a terrible broadcaster. You already insulted me. You said I can't strike out twice in the same day, you know?
Come on. Don't worry. If you hit it once out of 3 times, you're an all-star.
We're still talking about books, right?
Yeah,
okay.
or just everything, really. I mean,
all right, moving on.
Not too bad.
You've got where's my trade on AVGO? Well, look at that. Right when I need, I mean, how much further? And it looks like I don't know what that alert's on SPY, but
cool Qs with a nice little push.
Yep,
and SPY get the push. There it is. There it is.
We were a 1/3% away from getting filled, and now we got to deal with this nonsense of the SPY.
Google continuing. Amazon through the 89 scalp. Oh, that would have been a nice one. 89 to 89.50 on that 1 minute.
SHC, that happened fast. So SHC, we've been talking about this, told you that the 16 break probably is going to give you a trade if we have expanding volume. We actually got that exactly. When is high? Let's see what the height of this candle was. 16.26. So 26-cent pop through that 16 level. This actually might go for more here too. Let's see. We're at the highs. Little bit of size there at 1627 is your high print. Coming back off that high, we'll see if 1627 go. I would say at this point, if you took this from earlier or from the list here this morning, definitely book some gains.
Nike looking interesting as it's making that step up there. Unity now towards that 30 spot where I was looking at a little bit earlier in the day to see that kind of trade. You guys remember I didn't take it, but look at that nice little setup there. Remember it was the 29.50 kind of $half area up there towards 30. Not a bad little trade there. Q's taking that next step up. Nike doesn't look too bad there. Crocs playing a little bit of catch up. Of course, they had negative news there. We'll see what happens if that can catch back up there. Even Lulu having a decent day, a little bounce back type of day there. So not looking too bad. And of course, Amazon's little setup on that spike there. That was a nice little setup for the scalp through the 89s. Now towards 89.60s. We'll look to see if the SPY can just continue pushing. It's been a strong day.
Yeah, SPY taking the next leg up and at the same time doing so is Bitcoin. Excuse me. Tesla bouncing here too off that 117.50 level.
What up? What up?
Once again, we're in the money. We don't lock it in, and the trade goes against us. I mean, this is sad. Sad.
Yeah, I mean, hey, one thing you can either do is you just got to determine what do you like to do. You like to just stick to your levels, right? So at that point, It is what it is, right?
Yeah, we're going to leave it be. We're going to leave it be, and if it takes me out for another 100, then hey, you know?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's tough, right? I mean, you were doing a short there, right?
Yeah, so when the market bounces the way that it did, it obviously doesn't help me whatsoever.
Yeah, I think that's where one thing that maybe we think about statistically wise, right? How many times are you shorting, losing, and the SPY is up? That's one thing that
the SPY was down. But I hear what you're saying though. Like, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like overall up, like on the day. And yeah, so this is more statistical data to just look back into, right? And so you can see like in your prior losses, okay, was it something that I just maybe ignored in the overall market? And so of course there's never exacts, right? And that's what I'm trying to more along talk about here is more along how can we go through our statistical data to maybe find out how we can make it kind of an adjustment maybe even to our system to keep us out of trades like this.
Yeah.
Like always, you're always going to be battling that. It's never one way, and that's the hard part. SPY now kind of a little kind of ticky here, couple wicks there. We'll see what happens now.
Well, we're gonna leave our levels up. If it does takes me out, we'll lose another $100. We shall live.
All right. What else is going on out there, team? Let us know what you guys see moving.
Lulu, actually. So we talked about, real quick, let me show you another potential trade here. We talked about Lulu being a potential swing if it can really kind of complete this curl. It didn't. It had earnings right before we talked about it. Earnings came in light. The good news here is that it actually held the support area. So we take a look at the trend that we're kind of going with here. Really kind of holding this area on this trend. Now, the interesting part here about a potential swing is that if we take out the top of this candle, which is 304.41, we are in a gap that doesn't close until 326. So for those of you that attempt to trade, get different gaps, we do have one here brewing on Lulu. This would be a potential swing long. The one thing that their earnings report, not great, not really terrible, but not great. They did say that well, let me see. They did talk about gross margin contraction, so something to keep on mind. But for the just for kind of a technical play here, I think if we take out this candle, we might be able to fill that gap here on Lululemon.
NVIDIA about to hit high of yesterday. Yeah, it's been a good day there for those tech stocks. Tesla reclaiming VWAP. Yeah, I saw it was trying to get there.
Who are you talking about? The yawning trader strikes again. Come chase me, fool, and a bunch of rocket shit.
I'm gonna assume I'm the yawning trader because I do yawn.
I mean, I've yawned this morning, but I don't understand the significance of striking again or any of that. I don't get it.
I'm not sure.
Things like that sounds like a bit of a dig, to be honest.
Dig it up holes.
Tesla trying to get back to VWAP. I don't know if I trust that move, but I mean, if you're looking for something that's lagging, right? It is Tesla. It's lagging. It's lagging the market, right? It's trying to get back to VWAP.
AMRN still dealing with that 170 level here. This one pretty key. So you can see it's got a daily level here, or excuse me, an intraday level, as well as a daily level here on AMRN. You know, the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mark the top of this off as well. That's at 201. That puts us in a gap till 263. So interesting setup here on AMRN. If we can get going, nothing confirmed yet. Really need this volume to pick up for that trade to materialize. The Crow saying cat is a beast. Let's check that out. And SHC looking for new highs here. 1627 is that high. We're right up against it. Let's see if we end up taking that out. Little bit of the few sellers there at 1625. Cat is strong here today.
The cat's out the hat.
There we go, right through on SHC. Next leg up here. Let me pull it up. Sorry, I had it on a different screen. Let me go ahead and pull it up. That was a pretty good break. Nice little volume stick there too. Yes, sir. So SHC, this has really been a great trade for us here today. Man, nice move there.
The cat's out the hat. If you like cat, one that most don't look at is Pakar. What? All right, Q's came right back down. Wouldn't you know it? Looks like we're going into the chop zone.
Yeah.
We need to have the twilight zone.
I was just gonna say we need
to be able to hit it. Just hit that sound button there. The twilight zone. We're entering in the chop zone.
We need like a graphic to go with it. We need an audio clip to go with it. Yeah,
hey, we're trying to make better, right? We don't have really, all that fancy stuff that some other medias have. Well, we got this though. Pakar, spy. I spy with my little eyes.
One of the things we're going to need, I think one of the things we're going to need is when Zunaid starts to sing, we're going to need some way to put him on an auto tune.
Someone just asked how old we are. Is it because we're acting a fool?
Acting a fool.
I mean, I hope
I'm old enough to know that song. Act a fool.
Too fast.
I did go ahead and add 10 more shares to my AVGO. It's just been frustrating, but I'm 30 plus.
Nice little I'm gonna use that, Zunaid.
30 plus.
That actually makes me seem younger than I am. I'm 30 plus too.
Yeah.
Nice trade there on Google, Ron. You really caught one that was moving out of the gate here. Nice on that first green candle here. As soon as we reversed, looks like you got 2 points out of that, right? 86.16. Yep.
Yeah. So Ryan actually, I think Ryan's the one who has traded more experience than us. I'm not quite sure. I've been trading. I've been investing since, I don't know, 10 years or so since I was in college. But I think actual trading was 2019 was my first year. Start of 2019 was my first year.
Yeah. So for me, I'm almost 40 and I started, I think 2014 was the first year. But like you, Zunaid, I've been kind of piggyback investing since the first time I saw Wall Street, way back at the beginning of high school. I've been trying to asking my parents questions about investment accounts and this and that. And I actually suggested they buy Google
Nice.
a number of years ago. They did not. So that didn't go well. But yeah, been interested in investing for 20 plus years, been doing it every day for 8 plus now.
JSPR looking to take out 2. Yeah, if it takes out 2 and holds, you can get a nice move towards 220 and then 240s. For me, man, it's just, I personally don't like, it's a me concern. Like, I just can't get a good read with this type of no volume type stuff. And obviously you can see here, the volume has kind of died out. Not saying it obviously won't work or there isn't enough volume for it to play out, because obviously you do get moves. But for me, I don't know. Not the biggest fan of it. I'm going to stick to my AVGO here.
Yeah, it's that 2 level, right? There's really no trade there. Yeah, exactly. There's really no trade until you can take that 2 level out. Now let's see if it does that, right? We're trading up here. We would use the volume as an indicator for entry. And well, here we are. Let's watch it right now. We're at 199, little bit of size there at 2. The thing to notice here is that if we do take 2 down, does it actually pop or does it just knife? So now we're at 2, took it out up to 204, 205, a little bit more size there at 205. So interesting move here. Let's see what happens on this pullback. Let's see if we actually get a yank or if we move higher here.
See, as soon as I make fun about the volume, Crow says, you know what, I'm going to use my millions of dollars of portfolio to just buy it all up. And that's exactly what happened. This whole volume is the Crow right here, just because he wanted to make a point. And there we go, 208, 207. Hopefully you got the chance to trade that, Crow. I was clearly not ready for that.
Also, here we go on JSPR. Great. So who was that asked you about that, Zunaid? Because Crow?
Well, man. Crow mentioned JSPR looking to take out 2, and that's what I made the comment.
And look at that. What a call here, Crow. So not only did it take out 2, we actually went as high as 209. Looks like it's trying to set new highs here. Let's see if it takes out 209. I don't see a whole lot of size there at 209. We took it at 2 and 205. I don't see it yet at 209. We'll see if we can push higher here. Great call. That was really, really good timing on that one. Really, really good timing. I love this community, man. You guys feel like every day the group gets better. Every day. Yeah, a little bit of size here at 210 on JSPR, not at 209. So 210 here. We'll see if this gets taken out. I would imagine if you took the trade here at or around 2 and we break this 210, I would say it definitely book at least partial gains here on that.
Just being patient today has already saved me about 2 to 3 trades.
Me too, Mitch.
So,
nice.
And this is
I would have had 2 to 3 more losses if I would have took those trades. Yeah, you may be like, okay, maybe the Unity would have gave me like a plus, but patience, young grasshoppers. Patience.
Man, SHC, what a monster here today. What a monster in SHD.
I just can't trade those. I don't do good with biotechs. I try to stay out of them. But I mean, to each his own. If you start doing well in those, we know certain traders that only trade biotechs. So
That's interesting.
You guys make us better. We, the group, make you better. Man, Ron, I'm screen capping this because that is exactly right. And that is the goal of what we're trying to do. When we talked about this, it wasn't about an alert service. We really wanted to move away from what you see on Discords and all of that stuff. We wanted something different. And we, in order to accomplish that, we needed the community to kind of go with that. And you guys really have. Guys and gals, I don't mean to say guys. You guys and gals have really done that. Jonathan says, I love you too, Ryan. Jonathan, right back at you, slick.
All right, there we go. Got taken out. Lost about 120 on that trade. There we go. Go ahead and close that puppy out. Took an L. Unfortunately, we were in the money right there. just did not hit our profit targets of about 555s, and to the upside it went with the beautiful help of the SPY as it went ahead and bounced from the previous close as well. And I'm not upset with taking that trade because look, you had relative weakness in the short. The levels were there. I played off of the levels and I took an L. I am A-okay doing that 10 out of 10 times. It's not like I chased. It's not like I YOLO'd anything. It was a thought out trade. Unfortunately, taking an L.
And AMRN here. So we talked about AMRN having that important level at 170. We actually did take that out. We're right back at the highs where we have been today. There is definitely some size here at 172, not a whole lot above it. It'll be interesting to see if this 172 falls. I think if it falls on good volume, especially given this last stick that we had, we go higher here on AMRN. 172 the spot, big seller there. We'll see if that gets taken.
Taking my shot here, Success long 3210s. Want to see the Qs just break down from here. Rejection of 272. Don't want to see it back past 272s on the Qs. Success would need to start pushing here, and we'd want to see some technology breakdown. We'll see what happens.
Big bidder on AMRN now took out 173 at 174 now, and there's a bid under it. AMRN, this looks to go higher here. The other thing, I wanted to take a look at JSPR. Jay Rice giving us some really good stuff here. JSPR, generally when you have a huge candle on volume like last week, you can use the bottom of the candle to buy the dip. So I think what you're saying is this one right here, right? And so what you're talking about is the bottom of this candle. And you can see this is actually more than a day trade, right? Because you're talking about potentially holding these overnight. But Jay, you're exactly right. Look at the bottom of that candle and how well that lines up. Look at that.
Q's dropping fast here, team.
Great shout out, Jay. That's what I'm talking about with process, by the way. Sorry, Mitch, you guys are trying to do two different things and I'm out here screwing it up. Sorry about that.
No, you're not doing anything wrong, man. You're speaking about a trade. We're just trying to keep watch on ours, right? That's all it is. Sometimes we're always going to step all over each other if this is more than one person trading, right? That's what it always will be. Yep. The Qs rejected strong at 272. That's the level that I saw the rejection here. Looked like for the high, this earlier high, which was 272. We rejected it, came back. Now I'm into the green there with Success. Really just wanted to see it just push, and the Qs just keep just tumbling down. Want to see the SPY do the same thing, just turn around and just tumble. Look how the SPY is coming down fast now. We'll look to see if those keep coming down. That's why I think Tesla was more of a short off that VWAP than coming back. It was lagging there. That actually looks like a short. Apple breaking down too now. Look for Google to turn around and come back to VWAP. Amazon to come back to probably VWAP there as those start turning around. Microsoft is actually underneath VWAP now. And that one was looking good here. So we'll look to see if we just get the takedown. There's the Qs coming down there to 270.50. I'm looking good there for Success. Want to see NVIDIA come down, AMD crack there, MU, AVGO go lower. Of course, Broadcom has been coming down there. Of course, we know that's all based off of Apple's weakness. QCOM is another one that I'd be looking for maybe a short there. We'll see what happens.
Tesla weak as well.
For a second there, team, I got a little freaked out, Ryan. I thought I put Success and I put Soxel. A little part of me was like, oh no.
Yeah. Double check that one. That would be a big mistake. For a second, I got freaked out.
If you guys
there.
Rewind the tape, just look at my eyes there. You guys will see the difference.
Dinner plates all of a sudden. Oh, I've been there.
Oh yeah, I had it for a second there. I thought I hit the wrong symbol. And I thought it was just tanking on me. And I'm like, no, that's the opposite trade. This is actually a good thing.
SHC took 17 and then pulled back on SHC.
270 starting to show up.
AMRN flirting with the 174, another big seller there at 174. We'll see if that one gets taken out. A couple of these plays, the little plays have really worked today. The bigger cap names have really just been chopped around.
AVGO to the downside. Something's going on. You've got AVGO to the downside here. Some news is coming out. 550 is being hit on AVGO. Got very blessed, and I'll go over this trade here in a second. Oh boy, hang on.
I'm with you, Sydney. Mimosa's coming, baby. Let's go.
All right, call it fortunate, call it blessed. But obviously, when this 5-minute candle went ahead and closed below the 560, I went ahead and let me actually put this so you guys can see exactly what happened. Went ahead and took some short again. I'll put the 1 minute up. So I went ahead and went short 50 shares at 559.17, covered at 555.16. That was a 2-to-1 trade. So now me being down about $200 or so, now I'm only down about $30. So as my friend, where's that friend?
Maybe to get hit hard on that. It did get hit hard on that. It was up there on the VWAP, now down to 114.
What was the news though? Had to be something to do with the chips again.
Yeah, it's more probably going to be coming from Apple. I would focus on Apple or maybe a response from AVGO, right, or something like that. So look for that. I'm looking at Apple right now. I did see something at 10:05, but nothing right now. If you guys see anything, let us know. Qualcomm coming down here, looking at the Qs. I want to see the Qs take out 270s. There we go. Took out the 270s. Looking great in success. Original entry 3210. Took some off there when we were pushing. Took some off into, we got the BRIP there was 3282. Yeah, not a bad fill there at all on that spike. It got up to a high of 93, but let's look for the nice takeout of 33 now and continuing to see the Qs come down here. You guys can be looking for that reversal action out there as we're starting to get the takedown.
Mitch, look, we got a Ben Sheets mention in the chat today. When I woke up, I did not think anyone was going to be talking about Ben Sheets, but here we are. Former Brewers and Braves pitcher Ben Sheets. Nice mention there. Nice mention there.
Agree with that, Voodoo. Way to bounce back, Z, and keep it tight, brother. Keep it tight. Of course, one thing that I will say is that a lot of time when we've been getting these kind of whoosh moves, we don't get the continuation. So I'm looking to see if we're going to get that continuation today. It will just be kind of that brush down. One thing, though, on success that I can do now is I can actually turn this into a little bit of a longer day trade now. Don't need to be taking profits as long as the Qs don't get back above VWAP. If they just keep leaking, I can keep riding it.
Well, I love me some Houdat. I love me some Houdat. Hey, that's better than the SPY gave you last year, all right?
No worries. There's always going to be haters, lovers. I know how it always is. And one thing that I would say is that if you have anybody making any opinion, it's probably a good thing, right? Because I want to be like us.
Hey, man, look, if you want to, speaking of which, we got a haircut appointment coming up hopefully soon.
Yeah, I need one too, bro. We gotta look fresh, bro. Come on, man.
Right? So
we gotta clean up, man.
We gotta get it together.
I don't got all those
I got one
barbers though, but
I've got one on Thursday afternoon.
Yours flies in though, right, Zunaid?
My flies.
No. Zunaid flies them in on the PJ. So
there you go. That's what happens.
Goes ahead and flies out. Women, I go ahead and fly out my barber. Apparently, that's exactly
I could
how
see
it
that.
goes.
I could see Zunaid being about that.
Nah, I'll be in Dallas.
Fresh tape, man. Fresh tape.
If anyone has any great spots in Dallas for vegetarians, let me know. You can DM me if you'd like.
I would imagine that there's got to have a good Indian restaurant because the Indian restaurants generally, those generally have excellent vegetarian options on the menu.
Yeah.
Real quick, AMRN as high as 178. So that one a little bit more of a grinder, but that's actually working. Real quick question here from Tom that I want to address. Ryan, if you like pharmas, any thoughts on GSK to the long side? So interesting. I actually don't like pharmas. I'm not a huge fan. And you're talking about GlaxoSmithKline, right? Glaxo. I typed in GSK here, and is this American Deposit? Each represent 2 ordinary shares. Yeah, this is it. So I don't necessarily have a feeling here on GSK. Kind of a rough chart. I'd love to see. Oh, let me pull it up here, Tom. I'd love to see it like curl and make a move through 40, but I have no thought either way on this particular name. As far as the biotechs go, I'm just making a note of what is giving us trading opportunities throughout the day. And then I'm trying to learn as much as I can about how those trade and some of the catalysts that those things report on. So would not be my first choice. I feel like I'm constantly not understanding different drug words or having to look other stuff up because it's not my forte or my wheelhouse. However, select biotechs really seem to be the stocks that have been in play for us. So we go where the puck is going, as Wayne Gretzky once said, right? We're going to talk about the plays that are in play here.
Oh boy.
Christopher saying GSK is pretty solid. mRNA better, Pfizer also better. So interesting that you listed 2 vaccine names in addition or in comparison with GlaxoSmithKline. Doesn't GlaxoSmithKline do some of the other things like Sensodyne toothpaste and stuff like that? Maybe I'm mixing up their portfolio, but I feel like there's a lot of GSK products that we're familiar with that we use on a regular basis.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with that. I'm trying to still see what that AVGO drop was.
Yeah, I'm trying to look around too. I'm looking around the Twitter streets even.
I'll help you guys out here in a second. One more comment here from Christopher. When looking at pharma, look at patents, also PE ratio and dividends. This is actually really good advice here. A lot of times these drug companies don't have cash, right? That's why they have to do financing when the stock runs up like crazy, because they need to sink all that money into R&D. So if you can find something that has a good patent portfolio, a good PE ratio, and pays a dividend, you'd really be in good shape. AbbVie does seem to be really solid. Yep. Good buy, but higher PE. Okay, so what news are you folks looking for here on AVGO?
What was the reason for the drop on AVGO about 5 to 6 minutes ago?
Let's see what we can find here.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Yeah, Mitch, if you haven't found it yet, I don't know that I'm just going to be able to come in here.
It'd be good.
Broadcom shares are trading lower following a report indicating Apple is planning to replace a chip supplied by the company in its devices.
Yeah, that was yesterday.
That was yesterday, so okay.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with bringing that up, right? Because it's a major news, right?
It's in play here, sure.
But more along what hit it 5 minutes ago. Something hit it 5 minutes ago. And something hit the Qs 5 minutes ago, right? Like it was like 5-10 minutes ago when we got that big whoosh down. Something happened there.
Finn, we knew about that yesterday, though, right? Which is why I liked shorting AVGO today at the break of 560. So we knew about that yesterday. It might have to do. And the Google News I saw, I wasn't sure if that's what impacted AVGO or not. But regardless, it worked out in our favor. So I ain't tripping.
There's one thing to keep in mind, right? I talked about it on pre-market prep this morning. If you guys didn't catch pre-market prep, I don't know what the hell you're doing in the early morning, but we'll let you guys know that Broadcom is has a 20% exposure to Apple, right? And so if Apple pulls all of Broadcom, they would lose 20% of their revenue. Qualcomm would lose 22%, just to show you how much Broadcom and Qualcomm rely on Apple for revenue.
But nonetheless, though, I do have a short order at 559.89 on Broadcom. So, hey, if you want to go for another round, baby, let's get it.
I'm just sticking around in that success trade. I could take some more profit here, and I don't think it's a bad thing to take more profit here, but I've already taken a really good profit on the day. You can just let this work here. Just looking to see if the Qs are just going to break down. Are we going to just break down in front of the CPI and start coming down a couple of days before the action? That's one thing that I'm keeping in mind.
And CPI is Thursday, so we still have tomorrow to.
Yeah, still got ways to go.
Yeah, and I didn't find anything on Broadcom, by the way. I didn't find anything on Twitter
either.
You're right, though. It did seem to line up with the Q, so maybe it just moved with the broader market. I didn't see anything else outstanding. Sorry about that, folks. Not
a worry. This could sometimes be, right, taking profits, right? What if a bigger trader just took profits? That's all it could be, really. And then think in that case, you got to just be looking to see, are we just going to downtrend the rest of the day? That will tell you right there that it was kind of something bigger. If it just comes right back, it could just been one big sell, right? And so we'll wait and see. I didn't see too much volume coming in there, but you did see a little bit of a spike. I wasn't watching the level 2s or anything on the Qs or on the SPY right there. If I would have been looking for like maybe some bigger order. You guys know sometimes I try to filter out time and sales for bigger orders on the Qs or any stock really over 1,000. And if you can catch like maybe like 10,000 20,000 share order on the SPY or the Qs, well, yeah, that will be definitely something else.
SHC here again went above 17, yanked a little bit here, but man, this has been really strong. Really, that move through 1450, the move here today. SHC.
All right, Qs, take out those lows.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Let's go to that one. FRO.
FRO. This is Frontline PLC. Let's take a look and see what Frontline is doing here today.
So this is getting the move. Of course, you guys can catch it always with that little blue tag you see right above the stock. Why is it moving? This is a great feature that we have on Benzinga Pro, so that you don't have to go searching. All you do is just look at the top, right? So Frontline announced termination of a combination agreement with Euronav, which really gave a lift there for FRO. Another stock that's trading with this one is that Euronav, right? That EURN. So if you want to take a look at what other stocks are trading with this FRO.
And as far as FRO goes here, remember, this was weak out of the gate, really used the VWAP in the trade here, right? So we sold off. We found a bottom about 1320. We reclaimed the VWAP, and then we went through this price discovery mode where we kind of just hung around the VWAP. Then we started to push away from it. This would have been the trade here to take, maybe 30, 40 cents here on a trade like this as you start to extend away from the VWAP. Looks like we're coming back now towards it.
Tesla 115 and dropping fast. Watch out, those Tesla traders, those bulls out there. I'm going to have to call Gordo up so he can give himself a nice little victory lap on my show a little bit later today, because that does not look good. And from what I saw on the market structure edge, that scared me a little bit on Monday. We had that Tim Quast, market structure edge was showing us how the short volume was increasing there. I thought the top of the range there could be a good level to short off of around the 123s. We're down to 115. Could fill this in gap towards 113 first. We'll see what happens in Tesla overall, but coming down fast today. Can I get that next step up there in success? Let's go through that 33s. Let's drop on the Qs. Let's drop on the SPY. Let's start really coming back into the price action. That's what I'm going to be looking for. 15-minute on the SPY. Look how that really is getting toppy. We're coming right back down here. Now we'll get back into the range. Remember I talked about before the open, I thought we would get back into the range here. Well, it's looking like we're heading that direction. Where do I think we stop? Somewhere I would say 384.70s. That could definitely be a nice little pullback to the 9 EMA after this recent push.
All right, who that? You ready? I got a trade to the short, so if you want, you can take a long, pal. I'm looking to go short on the SPY at 386.93. Why? You had support. Now you finally got a crack. I'm hoping to get the short on the retest, and then stop loss for me is probably going to be previous day. What if it goes red to green is probably where I'm going to stop out. But for now, looking to go short 100 shares at 386.93, hoping that we get a retest. And even if you look on the 5-minute, obviously it's going to give you the same story. Support. Finally cracked. Now let me get that retest. On the 15, though, is what I'm basing this trade off of. Taking a look at AVGO, looking to go short at 559.89. So if it goes ahead and gives a retest about the 560s, it may not happen. We already made money on this one, but a crack of 550 and a retest could be a beautiful play to the short side with a stop loss of about $3 to $5. So 2 stocks to keep in mind that I'm looking to go short if I can go ahead and get filled.
All right, we're trying to get through the 33s. Rejected the breakout right now in the success. I'll look to see if we get back above the 33s. That's really where I want to take the next profit and then look for it to keep going. But really, it's going to be all dependent on what happens in the market. Market did find a little bounce there in the SPY. We'll see what happens. 386.25 seems like a little level below it. We'll see if we blow through that. Qs overall hanging out there at the 269.50s. Wanted to break 269. It bounced very close to that. Just trying to let the stocks work for me now. Looks like someone wrote about, of course, Broadcom getting hit off of the Apple wireless chip plans. I mean, that was yesterday afternoon. So, I mean, I understand it's getting hit. And I think it is an important thing to think about. But one thing also to keep in mind is that Apple's talking about this for 2024, right? It's 2023. We're still ways away from that.
Well, we're not ways away from is getting filled in our short. So we're short at 386.93s. Let's see where. I'm actually going to see. All right, we've got our stops loss sets. I'm actually going to go ahead and make this one just about there. I'm going to try to go for approximately a 2-to-1 trade on this one. And this trade won't work out while we're live with y'all, but this is what I've got. I can give y'all an update tomorrow as needed, but I'm short the SPY at 386.93. Stop loss is 388.04. Looking to take profits at 385.12. If I'm wrong, I lose $111. If I'm right, I make 181. So do with the information what you will, but that's going to kind of pretty much do it for me. What's tomorrow? Wednesday, right? Tomorrow's Wednesday?
Tomorrow's Wednesday.
I will. Oh yeah, we'll be here Wednesday.
We're here every day now.
Well, we are. Yes, that's right. I keep forgetting about that whole situation. But cool. It was a pleasure. Hopefully you guys learned. Obviously, I'm down about $23. I've taken about 2 to 3 trades. I can't remember how many trades I took, but down about $30. This could make it 160. We'll see which way it goes. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.
All right. Have a good one, man. Take care, man. We'll get you out of here. Zunaid's out of here. We'll take a look at what's going on there. And Ryan, you're more than welcome to kind of give your last comments, anything you want to wrap up with. If not, I will just be watching to see if we get that next step up. We got close to 33.
I mean market market kind of going the direction that I'm kind of thinking it's going to go, right? I've been saying for a number of days, I really think that we're going lower here. That's definitely what we ended up getting here today. But even so, we've got some plays that really gave us an opportunity here, namely SHC, right? Huge multi-dollar move there on SHC. It's still going too. So despite the market, choppiness, kind of weak market, we're still able to find some plays. Shout out to our chat and Becca, who mentioned TNXP. This actually providing a nice little day trade for those that like the smaller price stocks, which I sometimes don't always follow. So anyway, TNXP looking like this might actually bust one. This still on deck here for the rest of the day. And AMRN, let's not give up on AMRN either. This had a pretty nice move here. What happened to the price? There we go. I was gonna say this had a pretty nice move here through 170, and we're actually grinding higher, right? This is not one of the big trades to kind of yank back and forth. This one, nice little grind higher. Wouldn't be surprised if we actually trade above this. So we'll keep trying to find some more opportunities for you tomorrow. We do have the CPI on Thursday. That should be really interesting. Stay green, stay safe, and we'll be right back at this again tomorrow.
Have a good one, my friend Ryan, and have a good rest of your day. And definitely keep up with everything that we'll be doing here on Benzinga. And I'm going to definitely try to bring Ryan more a part of the show. So stick around. We got a lot for you. All right, I'm going to wrap up here in just a few seconds. Still looking to see if the SPY wants to come back to VWAP or come right back down. Qs overall also, right? Bounce there. Will we come back to the 269 or are we coming back to VWAP? If we come back to VWAP, I'll have to get out of the success trade. But if we can come right back down and crack through, we'll be looking really great there. We'll look to see if we take that next step or not here. Just give me a second here. If it comes back to VWAP, then we just get more into that chop zone. And I want to get out and just take the gain that I have. All right, looking like we are getting that move back where the Qs can come to VWAP. We'll look to see if it gets there. VWAP for me is 32.29. If it gets there, I will go ahead and take the profits and run. But like that's just because it could reverse right back up there, right? And so I don't want to definitely lose on this trade. I already took some great profits. Was trying to take some into the 33s. It got to 33 right on the dot. Could have took 32.98s. Just didn't look for that extension back above 33s. We'll look to see it. Q's coming almost to the VWAP here, and that's going to go ahead and shake me out. Going to give it a second here to just see if we get out of the trade, and then I will wrap up at least live trading. Up next after this, you guys will get, of course, Benzinga Live. That'll be coming up next. Should get started around 11. Don't miss that. That's going to be with 11:30. That's going to be with, of course, your man AB in the chat, producer AB. We'll see what happens there. We did get the touch there towards the VWAP, but it really quickly came off. So what we'll do is we'll set a stop there. I'm going to set a stop at around 28. Let's do it at 27. I still have into the green there. I'll set a stop there. Just let the rest of the trade work. We'll see what happens. If it stops me out, it stops me out. It's been a good day for me. Back into the green also. And I think that's the important part, is being kind of patient. You guys saw me wait until I started seeing that break, that turnaround here off the 32s. That's when I started attacking it. We'll see what happens today. Best trades were SQQQ and SOXS. So what was that? Reversal action, waiting to see it up in the index and attacking it. Like always, we'll see what happens a little bit later. Don't miss me. Stock Market Movers, 1 p.m. Eastern to 2 p.m. Eastern. And of course, if you haven't done so already, what are you waiting for? Join the book club today. I'll go ahead and throw up that link one more time. And I will see you guys a little bit later. Definitely hit the like button. BBBY says the crow. Keep it on your watch. We'll see what happens a little bit later today. Like always, hope you guys enjoyed all the live trading action. Like always, tell your friends. This is the place you want to be, a community that supports each other and actually pushes forward.
Check